So, good morning, everyone. This is Saturday. I trust that you had a good rest last night after what some considered a very challenging experience last night. And I trust that you have moved on, okay, from our fun test last night. This morning, I am going to spend this time as your academic dean. Okay, in my 45 minutes left in my time slot, I'll be talking and reviewing with you this morning the BSM Online Academic Program. This will enable us to fill in the gaps. So there are some things that probably you have not attended or have listened to in my orientation time. You remember before we started our classes, we had a general orientation, and many of you were not able to attend that. Some of you enrolled late. Some of you were absent. And even though I have posted the Brilliant Online Handbook, and you can find that in our lecture notes, this morning I really would like to emphasize some important things. After our basic study skills, which is a course introducing you to the entire BSM online training and also equipping you to better learn or have maximum learning throughout this training, through those principles I shared with you in basic study skills and this learning. Now you have to better understand the whole program. Okay, so I am your academic dean, and it is my responsibility that everybody, is in the same page. So as you listen to me this morning, I try to identify some gaps in your knowledge of what the academic training that you are supposed to receive during this school year. Okay, and I will also clarify one aspect that is about our insights. Okay, so this is our BSM Online Academic Program. We are as a school, the question always is, is that a good school? Which school should I go to? We have learned in our training among the school directors that a school should be measured based on its stated goals. So we carefully choose courses and plan the course content according to our stated reason for being and our philosophy of ministry. We mentioned to you that, we started basically as a church to train people for the mission field with particular focus on church planting. And so we said we train those who will plant the church that they will pastor and who will pastor the church that they will plant. And of course, we understand when the pandemic came and we knew we have to continue training, the opportunity for us to extend the reach of brilliant training to more people, like for many of you who are professionals and who want to be effective in your workplaces, some of you want to be missionaries, some of you who are really eager to be used by God in your local church setting, and with the program now of our movement, the Assemblies of God, to focus on house church. Now, many of you are being trained or have enrolled to be trained in conducting house church ministry. And so that's why we have BSM Online. And so because of that purpose for training and our philosophy of ministry, we choose the courses that are to be covered this school year. And also we carefully plan the content of every course. So if you will say, how is Berean School of Ministry different academically from other schools? Well, I cannot answer for the other schools, but what I can say is this, that we choose our courses and we plan our course content based on our stated goals and our philosophy of training. So, the BSM Online Academic here will consist of 30 courses. Do you like that, students? You're gonna have 30 courses. The BSM face-to-face curriculum actually
30
covers 40 courses, but in online we will cover 30 courses because we are merging some courses. Okay, 30 courses throughout 12 months. We will have some break within these 12 months. So we started uh, late of March, and so we will be extending up until year 2022. Okay, and each course is consists of a minimum of 6 to 10 online sessions. Uh, that would be taking up 1 to 1.5 hours per session, depending on the content and competencies called for in each course. Now, take note
ano
of these
lang
two
tayo,
words:
10 minutes.
content. Content are the specific topics that we cover, but we also train you for certain competencies, meaning, we teach you some truths, we teach you some skills, but not only up to the head, but we see to it that you develop competence, okay, in those skills, study skills, for example. I did not only teach you teaching skills or study skills. It is my responsibility as your teacher to see to it that you become competent, okay, in your study skills. So that's the Bsm academic way of training. So let's look now at the course requirements. What is required of you for every course? You understand that a BSM student is being trained to be a worker for God. Okay? That's our perspective when we train you. We are not just we are not just what do you call this? Teaching you lessons or whatever, but we are looking at you as somebody who is in the hand of God, whom God has called to be His servant. And that's the perspective that we keep in our minds when we train you. So we are not just concerned about you having notes, not just about you, going through every session. We are aware that you are God's worker. God has a call upon your life. God has an assignment for you to fulfill. To be a pastor, to be a church planter, to be a house church leader, to be a professional who is ministering in the workplace. That's how we look at you, and we remind ourselves that way. So we are concerned that each student will give diligence to study of the Word as one who does his best to present himself to God as one approved, a workman who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly handles the word of truth. So probably you wonder why this is the very first scripture passage that a Berean student will encounter in the training. That's in my lesson 1 in Max Learning 1, 2 Timothy 2:15. Because that's how we look at you. We don't look at you as just one student with a name or a number in our attendance sheet. You are somebody who is a worker of God. And because of that, therefore, these are our course requirements. Okay? I hope this is big enough for you to see. Is everybody hearing me? Okay, I just want to be sure really that you are there. Okay, you can
Yes, ma'am.
respond. Okay, you can type something.
Yes.
You can.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
We're
good
here.
to be.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Po.
All right then. What is required of you in every course? Okay, 1 is your attendance. I mentioned, I think that was 2 Saturdays ago, that the reason why we chose Discord as the platform, because we saw that this is the platform that will give us, like, even though it is online, but there is interaction. There is, where we feel we are still having a face-to-face, and our classroom is not just a 4-walled room, but our classroom is way wide out there in the virtual world. Okay, some of you are from different parts of the Philippines. We have somebody from UAE, you know, and we are in a classroom, and you need to attend. We need to gather at our agreed days and times of the week, and together, we interact as a class. I mentioned that one of the easiest option to do online classes is for the school to produce videos and provide the handouts, and the students just take up each lesson by themselves at their own convenient time. But there is no interaction at all. But that is not the kind of training we want, because Berean is a community. We want to build community where we interact with one another, because that's one aspect of the Berean training. Because as your mentors, your trainers, we understand that there are things that we want to communicate to you, which cannot just be learned by you looking at our videos or reading our notes. They say there are things that are better caught than taught. And so this interaction, and I have to tell you honestly, Pastor Ray and myself are talking about this, that we found this really great and wonderful in this core, that it's just like, being in a classroom. In fact, to some extent, it's even much better. We find ourselves even more able to interact with you. We enjoy reading your insights and responding to your insights. And so class attendance is important. And so we know the sacrifice that some of you have to make. Some of you are working. Some of you come home from work late. Some of you are still traveling during those times when it is time ready for our class time. Some of you are mothers and you have work to do. Probably you have to feed your family early, so be on time for our class. Some are doctors, and we understand that. But please make the most that you can to attend our classes. Because you have the access of audio aspect of your gadget. You can say, if even at work, as long, like I know Mybel, who is a Starbucks manager, or the doctors, if there are no patients, okay, and you're on duty at a class time, well, you can still listen, to our lessons. However, if you need to be absent for some important reason, I'll be mentioning about that later on, what you will do. Okay, so that's attendance, which requires your complete and prompt attendance in all sessions. And then number 2 is class response, which is class participation and meaningful insights. That's 30%. And assignment is 20%. And examination, which is 20%. That will give you 100 points. You might be wondering, baka mababa yung grade ko sa Berean. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Wala na fail sa Berean. Okay? Sa attendance mo pa lang, may 30% ka na. Sa kanyang class response mo at insights, may 30 ka na rin. At saka yung exam natin, hindi naman talaga mahirap. At saka yung assignment also, as long as you do your assignment, at least one assignment per course. We just have to make some way of measuring, your performance, because this is a school. I also want you to take notice that we are going to have a year-end comprehension test, where students will take a comprehensive test to prove their learning of the most important truths and principles communicated to them throughout the academic year. Parang board exam ninyo. And so you have to take note of this. Every time we have a class, you will hear us, your teachers, emphasizing certain things or repeating certain things. Or if you are actually watching the video, I would point the cursor to certain important words. Now, these things that we emphasize are, the truths that we feel a Berean student or a Berean graduate must have learned by heart. Okay? Like, for example, the truths in my max learning, learning is a permanent change. That's a very important truth. So there are certain things that we want you to remember so that at the end of the year in the comprehensive test, you don't actually have to open up all your notes all over again. But if you fairly listen and take note of important truths, you will do well in your comprehensive test. Okay? Now let's go in more detail. Relevant details, in each of these four areas where you are going to gain points for your grade. In attendance, I said it's complete and prompt attendance in all sessions. My academic dean assistant, Jean Lumpod, if you know her, okay, she's the one who is checking and monitoring this, and this Discord platform is very easy because we can just see there who is present, okay? If you're going to be absent, okay, you have to inform her ahead of time. If there is a valid reason. So this morning, I see to it that there is a place where you can post. So if you're going to be absent, say yesterday, Friday, and today, Saturday, you're not supposed to be, you could not attend because you have a work duty. What you need to do is post in the notice to be absent channel under the help category. If you want to look at that, that's among the help category below. You have there a help center. If you are looking now, if you have, let me go to number 5. Discord, you have the help center. Here, if you are looking at my screen, you are looking at the chat, our Brilliant PH, we have the help center. Below there is the notice to be absent chat channel. Okay, that is where you post it. Please do not post it anywhere. Do not post it to me or message to me. We have somebody who takes care of that. The reason why we ask you to post where you should be posting, because we want to see to it that your request or your communication is attended to. And we have staff in Berean who are assigned to do specific things. And so Jean Lumpod, our register, and my academic dean assistant is the one assigned to do that. And she is going to take notice of your posting that she will be absent. Also, because she is also the one in charge who will see to it that you are given the chance to make up for any missed session. So, personally, me and Pastor Ray, we cannot do that, but she's the one doing that. And so you have to inform her. Now, during the past 3 weeks now, we understand attendance of some of you are not yet very regular, and some of you are late. And so she is summarizing your attendance for the past 3 weeks, and also summarizing who were not able to attend certain sessions. And we're going to make arrangements for everyone who missed something to have a time to make up for those sessions. Okay? And we'll be communicating to you more details on that eventually. So, notice here in this way, she can easily keep track of your absences and make arrangements for makeup sessions for those with valid reason to be absent. Let me tell you ahead of time, we are recording our sessions, but these are not, for you. At this point in time, because we are just starting, we are going to post all our sessions that had already been edited for everyone to re-watch. Because I understand that at the beginning, we have problems in connection, connectivity, and parang hindi kumpleto at hindi tuloy-tuloy yung pag-watch ng iba sa inyo sa ating mga lessons. So we will give you a chance to re-watch everything. But this is not going to be our practice, okay? Our recordings are reserved only for valid absences in the future. Okay? So I want to make clear of that, because you don't say, okay, kahit mag-absent ako, total makita ko naman yung video later on. No, that seeing the video in itself does not compensate, for your absence, where you are there and are able to interact with your teacher and with one another. Okay, so I hope that is clear. The second one is class response as 30%. It covers your active class participation. And I taught you already the different ways how you can participate in class. And also, it covers your meaningful insights. And now this is going to be checked by the respective teachers. And so you can expect responses from us. Okay? So you notice that we are responding to your insights. And I tell you honestly, it's a big challenge. There are 50 of you, including the 3 alumni enrolled. And it's really a full-time job, okay? But we are enjoying it. Active participation. How do we measure this? Your active participation is reflected in your responses in the current class channel. Right now, you're open to the current class channel. So we are going to monitor your responses in our class sessions through your responses in the current class channel. Now take note of this. This is the reason why we instruct you to post responses to the class in progress. Requests for assistance regarding connectivity and other issues should be posted in the help chat channel. You know why? Now, look at this. If you're going to post your complaints, okay, or your issues about connectivity, ay, ang hirap! Naputol na naman ako! Ay, naku, nawala na naman! Ano ba na yung peldite? Halimbawa, yun ang pinagsasabi mo doon sa ating current class channel, okay? Then, when we begin to review what has transpired in the class, we want to see your responses. Yun yung response mo, okay? Yung mga reklamo mo, tsaka yung pag-lack ng patience mo. Kaya, it's important that you post, your request for connectivity issues or help in the right channel. So, yung mga nakapag-post sa current class channel, chat channel ng ganito, sa nakaraan, okay, ngayong araw, sinasabi ko sa inyo, pinapatawad namin yung lahat. Okay? We will forget everything, all of that, because we were just starting. But starting next week, we will observe. Okay, yeah, you are forgiven. Right? Alam ko naman kasi...
Thank you po. God bless po.
Thank you, ma.
Alam ko yung mga guilty nagpa-thank you. Kahit kami, ang sabi ka sa Ilonggo, nagatalang-talang pa kita. Okay? Ano ba yan sa Tagalog? Yung parang talang-talang sa Tagalog. Yung naglasala-lasa ba? Yung you don't know where to go. And that is normal because we were just starting and we were all learning. So, but let's do it right starting next week. Okay? Because what we do is we go over your responses, okay, and we would know how you are responding to us within, in the specific lesson, in the context of the specific lesson that we are taking up. Okay? Now, also, chatting when no class is in progress should be in general chat channel. Okay? So, before we start the class, do not chat in the current class. Kasi, again, for the same reason, ang dapat na makita lang namin doon ay ang responses ninyo sa ating mga lessons, because that is where we are going to base your participation. Okay? Kung gusto kayo magchismisan, doon na kayo sa general chat. Okay? Magkamustahan kayo diyan. Mag-share kayo kung anong breakfast nyo, anong ulam nyo. Okay? Doon kayo mag-chat doon. Alright? But in our current class channel, let us reserve that for your responses in our classes. I know that is getting clear now. Now, insights, we will have a little review in our Max Learning Lesson 3 sooner. Okay, assignment. Assignment is 20%. We are going to give you at least one assignment per course. Okay, sa akin, alam ko medyo mahabang na ibigay ko sa inyo, But importante talaga yun, yung exercises niyo sa paggamit ng mga study tools at saka yung 10 quotes, okay, on motivation. So, what do you do with your assignment? You submit it in the homework and assignments channel. At assignment, dahil assignment ito, alam namin na mahaba ito. Sa ngayon, ito ang ipasasubmit ninyo in PDF or Word document form. Yung insights ninyo ay dapat nakatype doon direkta sa channel kasi mas madali sa amin mabasa yon at makarespond kami. Pero yung assignment ninyo, i-submit nyo in PDF and Word format kasi ida-download namin yan para aming mabasa at ma-check. Okay? Examination will be a standard final exam. And how and where we will give the exam, we are still not quite sure about this. So, mag-relax muna kayo. Wala pa kayong exam, na final exam, probably next week. But we sure are going to give you a final exam. All right, so we will have some review about the insights kasi ito medyo crucial ngayon, Kata. We are very happy that you showed such great excitement, and eagerness to write your insights. But allow me this morning to give you some review and also some guidelines. So we have these definitions of what an insight is in your Max Learning Class 3. A deep, thorough, or mature understanding, capacity to discern and true nature of a person or situation, the act or outcome of grasping an inward or hidden truth, a process whereby one grasps a previously misunderstood concept. Yung parang mali ka noon, ngayon naintindihan mo na. Or a specific moment. So a moment is not 1 hour. It may just be a few seconds, maybe just 30 seconds. It's a moment of discovery. Okay, that's an insight. Or a feeling of sudden discovery or illumination. That is why when I introduced to you this lesson, I said, these are moments when you say, ganun ba yun? Ay, ganun pala. Ay, mali pala ako noon. Oh, now I see this. Oh, wow. I think I need this. Oh, this is beautiful. That is helpful. Okay? Moments like that. Those are moments when you receive an insight. Okay? So, because of that, we see paano natin i-express ang ating insights? Dahil doon, ito yung mga possible na categories. Binibigyan lang namin kayo ng mga categories. Parang meron kayong guide kung paano nyo talaga specify ang inyong insight. So, ang inyong insight can be in any of these category. It can be in a new concept learned. Bago yan Okay? Or old concept corrected. Okay? I was wrong. Mali pala ako. Ngayon tama na yung alam ko. Or understanding clarified. I've been struggling what this word really means before. And thank God in this lesson, I now understand. Or probably, there's such a conviction that God has given you as you listen to the lesson presentation. Or you made a commitment. Or there was a question and now you found the answer. Okay? Or something that you'll pray about. Okay, wow, that is a great need. I think I'm going to pray about that. Okay? Or what I have decided to do. A commitment or an action that you decided to do. Now, these are the different categories of what an insight can be. So here, what insight is not and should not be. Okay? We went through your insights, and so it's good that I can make these clarifications. Here, an insight is not a copy-paste of notes or portions of notes. Okay? Nangyayari actually ito noon sa nakaraang mga batches ng Birian. Basahin ko yung kanilang insight, yung mga portions ng aming notes, yun ang kinaka-copy-paste nila at saka ilagay din doon sa kanilang insight sheet. Okay? So that is not an insight. Right? It's not a copy-paste. It is not a testimony of your past accomplishments. Okay? hindi to testimony time. Encourage your classmates, or you can, if there's a testimony you want to share to us, okay, then you can send us a private message, right? That, or send it to your classmates. But your insight is not a testimony of a past, because you see, an insight is a moment that happens in the now, at the time that you are listening. Okay, it is not about what you did in the past. Okay, it is not a very long, multi-content narrative. It's not with too many. Okay, not very long. So it should not be very long. There is a line that, one of the lines that guides me. I would say, it doesn't have to be long to be meaningful. Can you say that? It doesn't have to be long to be meaningful.
Meaningful.
Yeah? In fact, as having been teaching for more than 30 years now, it is, I believe, a fact that the more that you understand something, the more that something is clearer to you, the simpler you can say it. Here is a clue. Pag hindi mo maisabi sa maikling pamaraan at hindi mo masabi sa klarong pamaraan, most likely ay hindi yan insight. Okay? Because the more that something is clear to you, the more that something is meaningful to you, the easier it will be for you to say it. So take note of that, please. Okay? It is not also an exhortation for others in your class. Okay? It is not the time to tell your other classmates, this is what we should do, this is what you should do, because an insight is something that is personal. Say that, please. Personal. Okay? It's
Personal.
yours. It's mine. Remember, it is something that God spoke to you. It is something that God explained in your heart while you were listening or pondering on the lesson being taught. Okay, so these are just some of the few observations I made, okay, in what an insight should be. Now again, thank you for the past insights that you have submitted. We enjoyed reading them. And don't feel bad. Baka sabihin nyo, ay naku, mali pala yung sa akin. No, it's okay. Because we are still learning. That is why I'm making this review today so that, I'm applying the 7th law of teaching learning, the law of review. Okay, so after going through this for a week and seeing what you are doing, and as a teacher, it is my responsibility to review things to you, to clarify things to you. So, somebody asked me, how many insights in one session? I tell you, one clear, meaningful is good enough. I know you learn. In one session, you will learn many things. And I think some of you, that's what you wrote in your insight. You made a beautiful presentation or summary or list of the things that you have learned. And that is good. It encourages us to know that, you are learning from us. But when it comes to your insight, give us that something, that discovery, that moment of illumination, that moment of enlightenment, that moment when, God, has spoken something meaningful to you. And if it is a clear insight, it is something that will change you. It will something that will really affect your life. And I will tell you, it is something that you will not forget. In response to one of you, I said, one thing that I've learned early in my life as a student is something that I learned from one of my missionary teachers, where what missionary told me that never stop learning. That was an insight that, I was then single and was still planning to go to Bible school. Now I'm married, I'm a mother and a grandmother and, a senior citizen. I still remember that I will never stop to be a learner. And that principle still, guides my life. I don't stop learning. Now, that's the value of clear insights. Okay? So one clear, meaningful insight is good enough. But kung talagang, meron po talaga, ma'am, okay lang, okay? Okay lang. You can submit one under two different categories or the most, three categories. Okay? That will be good. At alam mo, meaningful na importante talaga. It will be good for you also to list those down as your insights. So the next question is, how many words? Well, I think I told you one clear meaning, it would be good. That means it doesn't have to be long. Now, so, I have copied and pasted on my PowerPoint some lines from what you submitted. Now, some of you will identify that it belongs to you. But there are some instances, like there was a very, very long insight that was submitted. But as I read through, I identified a specific line, which I will show here, to let you know that your insight, yun ang insight mo, yung line na yun. Okay? So, if this is your line, okay, you would know if it is yours. But I want you to comment, okay? And so just be ready in the current chat channel. I want you to comment on these insights. These are your classmates' insights, or some of these are yours, okay? Let us make these examples. Okay, here's one insight. You read it. It will be our foundation on how we will cope. This is basic learning 1, basic study skills. So it says it will be our foundation on how we will cope and how we will learn each the topic in the succeeding lessons. And with the grace of our Lord, I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. Ano ang category nito? What is the category of this insight? Yeah, anybody can answer? Anong category?
Philippian.
Yes? Anong category yan? You can type. Just type your answers. Huh? I want you to comment. But if you notice here, hindi ito na-express personally. Okay? Dapat, ito ay na-express as a personal insight. Because the workers are few, but the harvest is plentiful. So what category is this? Yeah. Yes, it's a conviction deepened. All right, it's good. Praise God, you're learning. Here, these different roles are new concepts learned, which taught me how well we students are participating. It will make our participation productive when we are aware of our roles being played. We could even work for roles we are not comfortable with. Okay, so anong comment nyo? Ano itong klase? New concept learned? Yes, understanding clarified. Okay. Kaya lang, alright, good. Ang problema lang dito ay dapat I, diba? Hindi we. Okay? New concept. Alright, good. Yes. This is a good insight. Okay, here's another one. I needed to change my study habits, manage my time well, set a time to study, and do my assignments and homework. Oh, anong category ito? It's a what must I do? Yes, what must I do? What I decided to do. Good. Okay, I hope you're learning now from these examples. These are your work, actually. Kaya lang, medyo mahaba ang original. Kinuha ko lang yung importante. Ang tamang insight. Okay. Said, tonight I am reminded that not all the time you will be productive. You can't fix everything quick. And that there are steps that you can always take. I'm so grateful I met these right words, and I can say to myself when I face a situation like this, But the greatest of all is the motivation that comes from the Lord. In Him we live, move, and have our being. Okay? That's a very meaningful insight. So what categories are covered by this? Yeah? Old concept, conviction deepened. Okay? All right. Okay. Old insight corrected. Now let's move on. Learning is an investment. This sounds like from an accountant. To learn better, one might have to invest in good tools in most cases. Okay. Isn't that a good insight? Very brief. So what is the category for this? Understanding? Okay. New concept learned, investment, yeah. And, okay. Probably also would also mean something, a decision what to do. I think this guy is going to buy some study tools, invest money. All right. Okay, let's move on. Just a few more left. Eto, magtagalog muna tayo. Balagi kong iisipin na sa tuwing papasok ako sa online class, there will always a learning that will take place in me in every teaching learning session. I like that. Okay? I think this is one of the lines that I want to hear as an insight. Okay? Whoever made this, that's very good. What must I do? Okay, that's very good. The next one. Oh, I'm sorry. The first portion there is, this is quite a long one, but the reason why I included this is because it illustrates honesty, and at the same time, what could happen when you are trying to make an insight. And this is an honest confession that parang nahihirapan siya gumawa ng insight. Okay? Diba sabi natin that insight, in the spiritually speaking, is what God says to you in your heart. And so this student really is trying to do that, to hear from God. Okay? Pero sabi niya, I'm not attuned with the Holy Spirit. I'm having a hard time. There's just no connection. It'll probably sometimes happen that to you also, na parang walang connection. Ano ba yung sinasabi ng Lord sa akin? Parang pareho sa atin ngayon, naputol yung connection mo. But he tried and with some encouragement from somebody, until finally he discovered the way to connect. He was advised na, you talk to God, you pray to Him, okay? That God will speak to you. All right, and this is a good introduction to my next course, actually. And then he said, it is as if I was connected to Him. So I see now that connection is important. If this student is ever to make this insight, write this insight, I would say to you that this is the most important part of that, what you submitted. That connection is important. To make an insight, the connection with God is important, because an insight is what God speaks to you. It's a beautiful truth, a beautiful discovery. A connection is needed. And that is true, students. If you are connected with God, really, it will not be hard to make an insight, because it's something that God speaks to you, something that God prompts you with in your spirit. Hey, my child, take note of this. This is important. This is needed. This is good for you. Okay? Here's the one. Before, I think this should be okay, a typographical error. Before, I just study once the test is coming. I never review after the class to recall. Okay? Oh, that's a brief insight, but this is good enough. All right? So what do you think is this kind of, it's a new concept? I never studied before. I only studied before the test. I never review. Okay? So this is an old concept corrected. And I think it also implies a decision, what to do. All right? Good. Here. definitely an old concept corrected because itong sabi niya. I was corrected in terms of treating learning as a compliance in school. I realized that it was more than that. It offers a vast opportunity for me to grow in knowledge, skills, or even values, and I should grab them all, for I consider them now as provisions from God. Okay. So isn't this good? Ang concept niya noon, ito yung talagang traditional thinking ng isang estudyante, di ba? Mag-aaral ako, mag-study ako, gagawa ako ng assignment, mag-attend ako ng klase, kasi compliance ito ng school para makagraduate. But no, that is more than that. That is an old concept corrected. Here, tonight's discussion taught me that I must make a conscious effort to participate for me to learn better. You know, as your teacher in basic study skills, I really commend this insight. This is one of the things that I want to see. Tonight's discussion taught me that I must make a conscious effort to participate. That's a good phrase, conscious effort. Many of you made a commitment to improve in the way you participate. And this is the key. Conscious effort. You decide, I want to be an information giver. I want to be a clarifier. It's a conscious effort. So I think this is a very good insight. Okay. So those were examples of insights, and showing you those insights, as I was saying, I pulled those lines from what you have submitted, and frankly, I just chose those phrases from very long insights supposedly that were submitted to show to you that it doesn't have to be long to be meaningful. Figure out what really is that which is most meaningful to you under one of those 8 categories. That is how you write an insight. Okay? Now, the tools, we want to mention this to you because now that you know you're a student of the Bible and a worker for God, for you to do your work correctly, you need to use tools, and I introduce them to you. Now, because we are on the online setting, you don't have the access to our library here, but we have access to some resources. And so I recommended to you an online resource, BibleGateway.com. If you can open an account there, you have to be actually on a PC to access. These are all online resources. Okay. You can start using it for free, but you can also make a subscription. But Pastor Ray is recommending eSword. You can also download eSword on a PC, and you can start it also as having a free account, but there are some that you have to purchase. Like, I think some Bible versions like NIV you have to purchase, but other than that, you can already start using it. These are all online resources. But Pastor Ray is recommending MySword. If you are using an Android smartphone, these are offline, right, Pastor Ray? You can download the app and you can download the resource. And so I think Pastor Ray can tell you more about this later on. But he's the one that he recommends, because once you have them on your phone, these are downloaded and you don't have to be online to access the resources. Okay. And another one is Picarta, which is also an online resource, which is one of the things that I'm using. But the problem is, you can also start using a free account, but you have to purchase the tools. Like, I have to purchase the NIV Study Bible. I have to purchase some of the commentaries that I usually use. I have to purchase Haley's Bible Handbook to be used within Picarta. So these are some of the most popular tools. Well, if you are, as I have said, if you are a member of Destiny City Church and you have the time to come over to the library is open for you. Just inform Ma'am Jean Lumpo that you are coming so she can make the library ready for you. Just observe our safety health protocols of wearing face masks and practicing social distancing. Okay, so I think that's what we have now. That's all about it that I tried to communicate with you this morning as your academic dean, with the hope that any gaps that you have in your mind will be filled or any more information that you missed, you can have. Now, again, for those of you who have missed some sessions, for those of you who enrolled late, we are uploading our sessions on video uh, in the class announcement. In fact, Joseph already have uploaded some of that there. Okay, so you go there in the class announcement, and there will also be some instructions. So the videos that we are ready to upload on YouTube, and we're gonna send you a link, will only be available, I think, up until the end of the month. These are unlisted videos in YouTube. You cannot see them directly from YouTube unless you have a link. Okay, so we want to give a chance to everyone who have missed certain sessions to be able to watch the video so that as we move on to the other courses, there will be no gaps in your mind. Okay, so that's all. If you have any questions with what I have shared this morning, you can just go and connect with me. Since this is related to our class, this is a class session. Any questions related to what I presented, you put it under current class chat channel. Okay, that is all, students. Thank you. God bless you and pass forward.